Alright, so we are going to do a lock picking video today. We're going to need a couple basic tools. One is a torque wrench. It's a smaller end for smaller locks. That's the bigger end for bigger locks. It's a bent piece of metal. That's all you really need. You can get a, better one. I'm sure it may be a locksmith shop or something like that. And then a bobby pin. I got it bent like that, as you can see. It's nice and straight, so it'll fit in the lock this way, and then it's got a light bend in it right there to help push down the tumblers. You can bend this any way you want. This is just my favorite way to bend it. And I also use this end for picking handcuffs, which I will show you in a later video. This is the lock we are going to be picking today. I think we used to use this for our storage unit when we lived in Kansas. It's a hardened steel lock, pretty durable. I'll show you it works. That's the key for it. It's pretty good, but put the doesn't unlock without the tumblers being in the right spot. So we're going to show you how to do that right now. First thing I like to do is I like to put in the torque wrench. And then, without putting any pressure on it, I like to get my pick or whatever I'm using for a pick, kind of wiggle it till you get past the first tumbler, to get it till you get to about the back of the lock. I like to kind of feel around to feel where the first tumbler is, and I think it's right about there for me. So at about this time, I'm going to actually start putting pressure on the torque wrench. Not a lot. It varies from lock to lock. Even locks of the same, make and model, so to speak. Very, very small differences in the pins could mean different pressures for the wrench. If it's too hard, you can't move the pins. If it's too soft, the pins just pop back right after you have placed them or set them, however you, or whatever terminology you wish to use. Once you start in the back, I kind of like to work my way towards the front. If you overpick like I just did there, just release the pressure off the torque wrench until you hear the tumblers pop back into place, and then just start again. You can kind of feel it like when there's a light pop and then a small grind, and it's all feel. You can't really hear much of it, but that usually means that you pushed one a little too far in. You want the pop, but you don't want that little grind afterwards. You can use a couple different methods. There's the rake method. You can individually pick the pins, which is what I normally do, but if I get frustrated, I'll start raking the pins, which is kind of when you just go back and forth, brushing the top against the top of the pins and setting them. If you want to start on smaller locks, it's probably a good idea. I have a smaller lock I'll show you here in a little bit, which is actually the one I started with, and then kind of just did it until I figured out kind of what I was doing. Don't push that one too far. Release it. It's kind of a trial and error, the first time. Well, the first several times. Every time it's a bit of trial and error. That's, practice makes perfect, as they say. And you might mess up the first few times just trying to find out, how much pressure you actually want to apply on the torque wrench, so the pins ain't impossible to move, but when you go to move on the next pin, you don't accidentally pop it out. too much pressure, and now I'm not putting not enough. I think I almost got it. There's about one pin separating me from victory. If I can find it. You gotta kind of feel around in there. It's all a feeling game, really. Oh, I think I can see it in there. You'll feel the pins set when you get them just right, and you don't. I like to brush the top of the pick across the top of the pin to see which one's the loosest, because you'll actually want to save the loosest pins until last. You want to pick the pins that are the hardest to move first, because that'll let the little locking mechanism turn just the smallest amount, and it'll actually put pressure on the pins that were loose at first. And you kind of pick the hardest to pick pins first, and then wait until the loosest pins until last. And then once you get it, I think I got one more left. Hold on. Yeah, once you get the pick where it wants to go, or the pins where they want to go, it'll let you open it. So as you see, it is open. And close it, you just turn it back. As you see, once it locks back in, it's locked again. You gotta have the key to open it again, unless you repick it, I suppose. There's the basics of how to pick a lock. This is a smaller lock I was talking about you could start out with. This is a little Brinks lock. It's just like probably 3-4 tumblers maybe in there at most. Can't be entirely sure. Oh, there's its key. 4. It's 4 tumbler. Oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. Sorry. 3 tumbler lock. You can start with something smaller like that. So, make sure you got your pick. This is a good way, or my favorite way of doing it. And your torque wrench, you could use a bent piece of metal. I've seen people use the little metal clips on pins. You use to clip it to your notebook or to your pocket or whatever you clip to. So next time I will show you how to pick a set of handcuffs. And these are, I don't know if you can quite see that, but these are Smith & Wesson handcuffs. It is an older, well, not terribly older, it's 4.5, 5 years old maybe, so it actually still has the chain link middle. The ones nowadays don't have a chain link middle, they just kind of bend there in the middle. But it's the same basic principle, so I will be showing you that. And if I get enough likes on this video, next time I will show you how to open a combination lock without actually knowing the combination, and maybe describe to you how to if you can't figure out the combination, how to shiv it or dismantle the lock while it's locked onto something to where you can get in to what you're doing without actually, you could always just hit it with a hammer, I suppose. But so I will be showing you that. So go ahead and hit the like button if you like the video, and I will be happy to show you more ways to pick a lock.